Welcome back, DoomTubers. Doomwaves back again with another game discussion. Now, this game discussion will probably get the least amount of views of any game discussion that I've done in the past, but I cannot deny that this is one of my favorite games as of late. I don't know why. Is it the type of game? I mean, you already know what game it is because of the title, but is it the kind of game that I like more than say my favorite first-person shooter? Did I like it more than Halo or BioShock or anything like that? Absolutely not. Or same with RPGs. Do I like it more than any of the RPGs that I enjoy? No. But is it one of my favorite games, I guess you could say, of this generation or last generation? Absolutely. I adore Plants vs. Zombies, and I did beat it last night, the PlayStation 3 version. This is the first game, and it consists of like 5 different segments. I think it's just 5, maybe more. Different segments where it's tower defense if you're unfamiliar with Plants vs. Zombies, and you kind of set up the backyard. You set up these plants to protect your home against a zombie invasion. Now, this is the landscape that actually has like a pool in the middle, so that creates some more difficulty because you have to plant plants on top of lily pads and things like that instead of just in the ground. So the first world, is just plain backyard landscape. There's no swimming pool and no gimmicks as of yet. It's just plant these plants and attack the zombies. Now, the plants themselves have different characteristics, and as you progress through the levels, you get more plants. You start out with your basic pea shooter, which is just like a plant that shoots peas at oncoming zombies. And the sunflower creates sun, which is your currency, because you have to buy. You have enough sun currency to plant the seeds, and so then you go through and you get upgrades for the pea shooter. You get the repeater, which shoots 2 peas at a time, and then there's the snow peas, which kind of freeze the enemies or slow them down. And it progresses through, and there is like tons. There's like 50 different kinds of plants. There's cabbage pulse and walnuts that are like barricades, and I don't know, just tons of different kinds of plants. And like I said, with the water stages, you actually have to plant lily pads and then plant the plants on top of the lily pads for it to work. And then there's also night stages. In the night stages, obviously your plants don't grow without sunlight, so there's no random sun generating, because the sun during the day segments also generates sun along with your sunflowers just to get more. So there's no sunlight during the day, so you have to plant a sunflower, and then it's a lot slower than the sun itself. And then you also plant mushrooms, because mushrooms don't need sunlight to grow. They need darkness. So you can plant these mushrooms that take the place of your pea shooters and things like that, because you aren't going to have enough sunlight generated to plant these regular plants. So then you go through all these night segments, and then there's night pool segments, and it gets harder and harder. And then probably my favorite, though, was the last set of stages. You actually are on the roof of your house, and the roof is kind of like at an angle, and then it's got a flat top. And the zombies are coming from this way, and so you have to use these cabbage pulse to lob things over the other side, or onto the top of the roof. You can't use the pea shooters and things like that fire straight across, because it won't do any good. And then also, to plant on the roof, you have to plant flower pots, which you can't just plant plants on the roof. You got to have something for them to grow in, so then you have to plant all these flower pots. So it's just I think they did a really great job of a nice variety of landscapes that each provided their own set of challenges, and you had to kind of change your strategy in order to prevent the zombies from getting through your lines. there is the stages are kind of set broken up with little mini games too, which are pretty fun. And there's like walnut bowling, where you just are just chucking walnuts at these zombies, to take them out and things like that. And there's also these like randomly, like it's a conveyor belt across the top that just randomly drops, has seeds on it, and you can just pick which one you want to plant. And none of them require sunlight or anything like that to do. So it's still you still have to employ kind of the same sort of strategy, but the items that you can plant are completely randomized. So it does provide its own set of difficulties also, and hoping that you'll get a certain plant that you really need, and still while trying to kind of keep the same strategy. I seriously want you to go check out some gameplay footage if you've never watched any about this game. It's actually a really brilliant game, and I can't wait to try the DS version of this game, because I think that with using the stylus will be a lot better than on the PlayStation 3. Not to say that I didn't enjoy the PlayStation 3 version, because it's actually quite good, but using the DualShock controller for a game like this really just was kind of odd, because you had to use you could use the joystick too, but I pretty much just used the D-pad to kind of move around the screen, and it was just a little bit less precise than, say, with the DS stylus, or like even on PC with the mouse. You're more precise about where you want things, and there's less button pushes. You just kind of drag and drop plants where you want them, whereas here you had to use the R and L1 buttons to kind of sort through your seeds on the top of the screen, and then you had to navigate with the D-pad or the joystick, where you wanted to plant that plant, and then you use the X button to drop the plant. So it was more steps. So I would say if you really want to play this game, I really suggest the PC version. Or I don't know how good the DS version is. I really want the DS version, but I can't say how good it is because I've never tried it. But this version is pretty good too. I think I paid like $18 new for this, and I'm pretty sure, or excuse me, used for this. So I don't know. It's a little bit pricey on the PlayStation 3. I'm not sure why, because on Steam I know, pretty sure right now the first game is only $10 on Steam for the full game. And I did try the demo. It's one of those timed demos, so you only have there's not a stage limit. So the fastest as fast as you can clear stages, you can continue on until your time runs out on the demo, which is really nice. I actually made it quite a ways, what I felt like was quite a ways into the game, and I got a really good feel for it on the PC based on the demo. So download the demo on Steam. It is definitely worth it. It's free, and it really gives you a good taste of what the game is like. And I swear, it's just a really fun game. It's a tower defense game, very funny, very colorful, just very, very quirky. There's just so many really good things about this game, and I cannot recommend it enough. It is seriously fun game. So there you go. That is my brief kind of jumbled up mess of a discussion of Plants vs. Zombies, in this case on the PlayStation 3, but I definitely recommend any version that you can play of this game. Now, I guess I should also say, before I end this video, the sequel, Plants vs. Zombies 2, is actually out on iOS and I think Android devices too, and it's really great too. I love it. It's got the main thing about that one is like it gives you different settings. It takes you different places. You're in like a time machine, and like the whole first world of the game is like ancient Egypt, and you're fighting mummies, and each one of those mummies and enemies has like a different quirk that aren't present in the first game, which was just really nice. And it's got some new plants and things too. And I know the second world is like a pirate. You're on a pirate ship, and it provides its own unique challenges. And I think the third world is like the Wild West. So I haven't beat that game yet. I'm somewhere in the second world. I'm on the pirate ship one. It's pretty difficult. It's actually quite a bit more difficult than the first game. But however, I'm not sure if it's just more difficult because it's truly more difficult, or because I'm playing it on my iPhone 4, which is just kind of hard to do. My wife has a Google Nexus tablet, and I have it downloaded on that, but I haven't played it very much on there. I may just start over on there. Get the Nexus is still pretty small, but it's considerably larger than my iPhone, which I'm using to record this video. So yeah, and I think it just came out like this week, maybe. Plants vs. Zombies Garden Warfare, which is actually a third-person shooter. I think it's pretty much all online multiplayer stuff. But it looks like a lot of fun too. If you're a fan of like Team Fortress 2 or games like that, very cartoony-ish, very quirky third-person shooter, with like objectives and things like that. Definitely look into this game because I think it's only like $30 new, and it's only on Xbox 360. I think it's on the Xbox One, and I think it's on PC. Sadly, it's not making an appearance on the PlayStation 3, which is where I would really like to buy it, simply because I don't have Xbox Live for very much longer, and PlayStation 3 online multiplayer is free. So that's where I really wish this game was. Sadly, it is not, but I do plan on picking this game up at some point. Hopefully, by the time I pick it up, I will be able to afford Xbox Live, and hopefully people are still playing it. I think that they will be, because I think this is kind of one of those franchises that's kind of like huge, underground huge, like a lot of people are really into it, but I think there's a lot of people that don't admit that they're really into it. I found quite a following for what I've seen of Plants vs. Zombies in general. So definitely one of my favorite new series, franchises, IPs, whatever you want to call it. I love Plants vs. Zombies. So I'm going to stop gushing right now. So thank you for watching, if you are watching or are still watching. Doomwaves out.